I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about, did I make the right choice by going no contact? Well, if you're in a breakup, one of the things you'll hear many people talk about online is going no contact. Now, prior to your breakup, you probably have never heard of no contact or really don't know much about it. And so our natural instinct is to constantly try and reconnect with our partner, right? We want to repair it because we're afraid we're going to lose them. We love them. We don't want the relationship to end. And so we essentially do literally everything that we can think of to try and get them to turn it around, which oftentimes makes things worse. Now, we know breakups are so confusing here at the channel, Margaret and I, and now Coach Victoria. And we talk about these things all the time because it gets so overwhelming to make that decision. And it's scary. I know it's scary because, years ago with one of my breakups, there was no information about no contact out there, or very, very little. Sparse articles here and there. And it was just so confusing to me that I was like, well, all these things that I was doing, the grand gesture, trying to talk about it, all those things, they weren't helping. So I figured, all right, well, let me go no contact. And so over the years, obviously, I've learned a tremendous amount on no contact, and I really believe in it, okay? But when you're coming to YouTube looking for help and you see 50 different people saying 50 different things, of course you're going to be apprehensive. And it's confusing, and it's scary, and you're overwhelmed by so many different emotions that, going no contact is a big decision. Stopping the reach outs, leaving your ex be, is terrifying. And it literally feels like death when you're doing it, literally. And there are many of you watching this right now that probably feel like you're dying inside. I know that feeling. So I understand why it's so scary to go no contact. But I know we here on my channel never tell you to do anything we wouldn't do ourselves. We advise you guys by putting ourselves in your shoes and thinking about what would we do in that situation based on what we see is effective and what not. And of course, that's why we do the coaching. Like today we have an email coaching. And the reason I wanted to do this one is because, a lot of times our ex has us feeling like the breakup was all our fault. And in many cases, we may have been a good partner, right? And yet they'll hold on to these small little things and they'll use those as excuses to end the relationship, which feels devastating because you feel bad enough that you're being broken up with, but now you feel like it's your own fault over some silly reason, which does happen a lot. So, that's one of the things that we're going to see, or that we see in our coachings, but we're going to see something like that in today's video, right? This is from a woman in her mid-20s, and she was with this guy for 7 years, okay? 7 years. They were together since high school. And she says, we have no kids, just a dog together, and we weren't living together, but I came over often every day. We were off and on in our relationship over the years. Okay. So what's going on there? Why are they off and on? Well, let's look a little bit closer, shall we? She says, our breakups were all initiated by him, and every time for the same reason. He is not happy, he wants to work on himself, and doesn't want to continue the relationship if he's unsure of her. Okay, so it feels kind of authentic to me. I got a vibe that maybe that there's some depression going on there. was just my intuition. But the other thing that I felt was, all right, what's going on? Are there other women in the picture here? I mean, he's only 25, so that's, fairly young in the dating world. So maybe that had to do something with it. That was just off the bat. So let's go deeper. She says, every time we broke up, I begged and pleaded and always asked him to get back together. Our recent breakup happened in March of this year. For the same reasons. For the very first time, I did no contact after he broke it up with me. I cried, but I didn't beg or plead. All right, so this time she decided, I'm not begging this time. Good for you. And after 1 week, he messaged asking me to let him know if I needed my things back or any of our dog things from the house. Okay, sounds like something he would need to do, right? They do have some things, business-related things they have to take care of there. After that, he would message me at least once a week and ask if I want to hang out as friends. I don't think so. No. I wouldn't play the friend game, okay? I know there are other coaches that will tell you to be friends with an ex, but I'm not interested in being somebody's backup, okay? These other coaches may think that weaseling in and hiding your agenda is a great strategy to try and get back with them. Not me. I wouldn't do it. I think it's weak, and I don't think it's authentic, and I think you're going to be settling for a lot less than what you want. And you're going to be a backup plan. I'm not interested in that. So I would not agree to that. Let's see what happens, though. I agreed to be friends because I thought it would be okay. Well, watch what happens here, though. We hooked up many times until the summer. All right, so is hooking up bad? Depends upon the situation, right? Like if you're trying to repair things and things are going well, okay, that's a lot of the chemistry and attraction that we feel with somebody. However, let's see what happens here. We hooked up many times until summer when I found out he was on Tinder and talking to many girls. All right, what happened though? Remember, they've been hooking up now. So what happened? What was he doing there? Was he authentic about that? Was he upfront saying, I'm dating other people? I don't know. I don't think so, right? She says, I found out because I checked his messages with his friend one night while he was asleep. Right? So obviously we know it's not really right for her to go through that phone, but she probably suspected something was going on there. And he was lying or hiding things. I mean, I don't know. But, if he's hooking up with other girls and not telling her about it, then that's putting her at risk. And I don't think that's fair. Look, if you want to hook up with other people and you want to be upfront about it, so be it. Then that person is getting to make that decision for themselves. But when they're lying to you like that or hiding things like that, and then they're putting you at risk, that's when I think it's wrong, because there's obviously a lot of STDs out there, and many of them, there's no cure for it, right? So, I have a real problem with the dishonesty about it, okay? Like I said, if he wants to hook up with other people and she knows about it, then she is choosing that and says she's okay with that risk. But I don't like this. She says, a little backstory. Whenever we break up, he would talk to other girls via Instagram or dating apps and even had sex with them. You see? So maybe every time he was breaking up with her, he had a girl that he was already talking to. It's possible. He had sex with a few girls throughout our whole relationship, and it happened when we broke up the 2 other times. Anyway, when I saw that on his phone, I immediately stopped reaching out. I stopped talking to him. It's been a month since the last time I talked to him, and I got to reflect on everything that happened in the last 7 years. He always told me that I was the best girlfriend indeed. He said he felt safe with me and that he loves the way I cared for him, and he loves how big my heart is. Okay, so that makes me sad, right? Because look at what he's telling her. She's a great girlfriend. He feels safe with her, and he loves the way she cares about him and how big her heart is. Okay? So she's obviously a good girlfriend, and yet he still keeps breaking up with her, and it's probably killing her inside. She says, "Why doesn't he want to be with me? That's my question." Do you have any explanation for that, Coach Craig? Do you think it was too late for me to restart no contact only a month ago? Did I make the right choice? Do you think he'll ever reach out to me again? I know you don't have your magic 8-ball from Amazon yet, haha, but when do you think he will reach out? As of now, I see he's on Instagram and that he normally goes out drinking, clubbing, raving, and doing things he doesn't normally do. Well, those are normal things he wouldn't do in a committed relationship, but now that he's single, he's kind of going off and doing all those things. And let me just read this a little bit more that she said. It hurts to see how he seems okay, but as of now, I'm trying to work on myself, trying to better myself and learn to be on my own. I also started a new job, and it's been great. Okay, so here's the thing. You guys have been together since you were really young, and I think, based on what I'm hearing here, this is more about him than it is about you. And that's really confusing, right? Because we always feel like we did something wrong. I know it's really hard to understand this, but I've been doing this for a long time. The way he described you was like a great girlfriend, and he had no complaints about you as far as I read. Yeah, I think this is about him being 25 years old, having been with you since high school, and now he wants to kind of go off and explore what else is out there. And, if he does that, there's a chance you guys can get back together. But he may not be looking for, marriage or a long-term relationship yet in his life. So, you just want to think this through and realize that even if you get back together, he still may not be ready yet. But I do think you're going to hear from him again. Okay? I do think he cares about you. I do think he loves you. And I think a big part of him still wants to be with you. And I think it really bothers him. But I wouldn't keep being intimate with him when he's doing this and he's going out and hooking up with all these other girls. Because then it's like he gets to be excited about all these new people he talks to and then maybe sees you as a backup. No, I wouldn't allow that. Not in this situation. For me, I'd be like, look, it's nice to hear from you. I hope you're doing good and I wish you all the best. And, at this point, I think that, we should stop talking unless you want to see me and see how this goes. But I'm not interested in being platonic while you're going out dating a lot of other people. I mean, you've been together for 7 years. That would be very painful to do. So I think you made the right choice by going no contact and not reaching out. I would just set a boundary with him and let him know that you're not interested in being friends. If he wants to work it out and see where it goes, great. But I think I'd also say, like, if you do try and work on things, that you need to be upfront about things, both of you. Not like you're secretly dating people on dating apps and putting you at risk without you knowing or not knowing what's really going on with him, that you're looking for like a sincere, authentic version of him and having difficult conversations. That's the mature thing to do here. And it seems to me like you're probably in a more mature place within yourself. And I hope you don't beat yourself up, because it really sounded like you had a lot of great qualities and, that this is more about him than it is about you, even though it doesn't feel like that. Okay? So keep working on yourself. Keep learning about attachment styles. Continue all the personal growth that you're doing. Do those workbooks 30 minutes a day. And see what happens, because, he has been with you a long time, and I'm sure a big part of him is having a hard time with letting you go. But I'd make him. I wouldn't just be a backup for him, okay? So, tough situation. I hate to see somebody feeling hurt like that, especially when they've been such a good partner. But sometimes things like this happen, and that's why we're here to help you guys along the way. So hopefully you found this one helpful. If you want to get my help personally, you can get it on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.